So hi everyone. My name is Natalie Portier, as you guys know. Thank you so much for joining our webinar dedicated for rewarded videos and the best practices from what we've learned, the best practices for publishers to use, the best ways of usage, and the common mistakes that are being made while people use rewarded videos for monetization. So before we dive in, I would just wanted to say a few words about the webinar. Throughout the webinar, we will be running a few polls where we are going to understand the scope of the audience. So please be ready and just click on the answers. Sometimes this is a multiple answer questions and it's indicated so, and most of the time it's just a single answer question. So just please help us out and go ahead and answer those polls. And of course, we would be grateful, very, very grateful if you ask questions and if you engage and participate as much as possible. Alex and Gaetan, I don't think that you well, you actually are muted. So can you unmute yourself before we dive in? So just,
sure.
Okay, great. Perfect. So these are our panelists, Alex Marietta from gLade Games. And Alex, can you say a few words about yourself?
Yeah. First of all, sorry for my voice. It could be a bit quiet, and here I'd like to give you a strong advice. Please, guys, avoid playing tennis while the rain is falling. It's awful. Yeah. Nevertheless, it's nice to see you all, and I'd like to say thank you to Appodeal and to Natalie, especially for this invitation. This webinar is something new for me and for gLade, and I'm so excited to be here. And a few words about our company. Company gLade was established in Cyprus 3 years ago, and actually we started as desktop developers, desktop games developers. Our game gLade would be released in January, and it's under early access now, and our second desktop game, Altera Online, called Altera Online. It's under closed beta nowadays and will be released very soon. 2017, we released our first game called Zero to Hero, and turned out to be a very successful project. After that, we released Billionaire Simulator, we simply called Boss, and after that was Boss 2. We've got a very strong team of our artists, developers, designers, and other guys. At the moment, gLade is about 100 employees all over the world, including 5 different teams which currently work on nowadays projects and new projects. So,
okay, great. Thank you so much, Alex. Gaetan, Gaetan also is on the team with me here at Appodeal. We both are sitting in the San Francisco office, although we're talking from 2 different rooms to eliminate the echo. Yeah. So Gaetan, just a few words about yourself. Introduce yourself, please.
Sure. So yeah, I'm Gaetan. I work at Appodeal for like 2 years, and my role is to work with a publisher to help them improve their ad strategy and their ad revenue. And yeah, I'm going to talk today about the most common mistakes and what to do to improve your revenue with rewarded video.
Thanks so much. Okay, so Alex, before we dive in deeper in your experience and your experience with the games, within gLade, I'd like for you to actually introduce, take a few moments and introduce these games to the audience a little bit deeper.
Yeah. For our webinar, I prepared 2 products. I'd like to introduce to you. Both are monetized according to mixed principle. I can say it's in-app purchases and rewarded video. Both product, I could say they are desirable platform for many advert networks such as Google, Facebook, Appodeal, which are cooperating with. Both these Billionaire Simulator can be a good example of a a good game, which monetization is mainly based on advertising, yeah, and we're getting lots of impressions, we're getting pretty high CPM, and rates are very high there, especially in US, in Germany, in Canada, yeah, it's pretty high. And Zero to Hero actually is our flagship, I can say so. Like I said before, we started in 2017, and during this 2018, average revenue per user was increased by 4, even 4.5, yes, so huge work has been done.
Okay, thank you so much, Alex. I actually myself spent a few hours playing Zero to Hero. Actually have to check on my hero right there just to make sure that he's still alive. I'm definitely entertaining and engaged in the game. I'm making sure to come back to it every day. So please tell us, what do you rely on when you build a monetization strategy for these games?
Yeah, indeed, Zero to Hero is at the moment we're very proud of it. It's one of the best products that we've made so far. I would say success of Zero to Hero it's due to the quality of the product itself. Yeah, it's very quality. Yeah, and the strategy is pretty simple. We've got these delicious adds reward in game, yeah, in cope with good game balance, makes reward even more desirable. So users just want to click and get what they get. Therefore, would note that the quality is not guarantee. Yeah, it is not guarantee of a good commercial product, and it's not only the one thing that would. Not only the one way, like it said on this slide, to retain the player.
Right, of course. Yeah, you also have to spend countless hours to make sure that the ad monetization in terms of rewarded ads doesn't screw up their audience experience, of course. Yeah, I absolutely agree. So in here at Appodeal, we actually spent a good amount of time analyzing the games and what makes them successful and what actually performs better. And we learned, and Gaetan took part of a big chunk of this, and we learned that using rewarded videos can help you not only earn additional revenue, but it also can retain the users and engage them in the game. So I believe like maybe a year ago, we did this really interesting study with a studio called Web Games, who didn't use the advertisement for their ad monetization. They were just our friends, so we decided to run an experience. And we featured this use case in our blog, so I can share the link with you guys later. But Gaetan will fill you in on the details. Gaetan, can you tell us about this use case a little bit?
Sure. So yeah, Web Games released this game called Star Adventures. That's free to play, and they have in-app purchases in the app, right? So they're trying to be able to monetize most of their users, so by showing ads. So they want to see the impact of video ads on their user. And so what they did is to either show in segment A, show ads to all the users, or in segment B, show ads to only users that basically are non-paying users that don't do any in-app purchases. The results were really interesting because they saw that there are more ad impressions and more revenue, obviously, with the segment A, but also they noticed that there are more in-app purchases per user. So the reason why is because by giving the option of users to get in-app currency, items, artifacts without paying at first, show them the interest and what they could do basically with the game. And also what the most interesting result as well is the higher retention rate, 25% higher than with the segment base. So the reason why is because basically by giving the option to see where they add, to use in-app currency to purchase artifacts and items, they get more engaged and basically they're more willing to play the games and they're more interested in coming back. So really interesting result, and we can see that ads when they really part of the gameplay when they show at the right moment, because in the game they show it right after finishing a level. They have the opportunity to double to get points basically at the end. Really part of the gameplay was brought by one of the characters of the game. Basically, yeah, like we can see that the engagement is better and the overall user experience is better. So great results.
Yep. Thank you so much, Gaetan. So I will, as I said, I will give you the guys link to this use case at the end of the webinar, so you can read about it in details. And they're actually really interesting how they went with two groups, as Gaetan just told you, and that rewarded videos actually help to increase performance and retain the users. So Alex, back to you. On this slide, we see one of the examples of how you use rewarded videos and where you place them. And this game is Hero to Zero, oh, sorry, Zero to Hero. So can you mention how do you choose where to put the rewarded videos within the game?
Yeah, right. Here we got a very cool example of how to monetize and retain the player, with this rewarded video. After watching the video, the player gets a fairly good reward, which allows him to get such a desired in-game goods, moreover, the amount of this reward is pretty strongly tied to the game process. So the player is always motivated to press this ads button, and he always does it with pleasure. As example, I can say personally saw my friend with this madness and joyful in his eyes. He was pressed this ads button, and he was like, cool, 5 or 10 more vids, more reward, and I can buy myself a new car, a new house, and that would be great.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, the Billionaire Simulator, they're different.
Yeah, both a bit different. The main monetization works there in the mid-game stage when the gameplay is a bit stretched, and the game session actually turned in something like collection and setting tasks for the next 6-8 hours, when the player is not in the game. So the good example, we see here on the screen with this multiply 2 button on the right. For each viewing, the player gets a boost to his profit for the next 2 hours, whereas maximum limit is set up to 6. And so he gets, by then he gets 12 hours and he goes for his business, and after that he opens the game once again, he does the same things, he collects everything, he gets these 12 hours once again, and so on.
Yep, exactly. I also spent a good amount of time playing this game as well, and it's actually a lot of fun. You guys should give it a try. Anyway, so now the question is, why rewarded videos? Why did you decide to go with the rewarded videos, and how did you come to the decision to use them? In the past, what is your experience with other ad monetization models and other monetization models?
I can say we've started to use this rewarded bits from the very beginning. It was in Zero to Hero from the very start, but still we had one interesting experiment. Zero to Hero started with an interstitials as well, which were displayed according to a script and could be turned off with any purchase which made by player. It's pretty standard for all games. However, feature analysis showed that we did not get the proper revenue from them, and after we removed the interstitial with one of our next test builds, we gained 75% revenue growth, including these ads, and the first day retention grew up to 8%, something like this. Well, that's one analytic topic.
Again, to prove the point that sometimes ads can actually boost your retention, which is really amazing. I mean, it's a no-brainer that it boosts revenue, of course. Anyway, so yeah, moving on. So Gaetan, I think should go back to you now. So you worked with games closely for a long time, and there were many games, probably hundreds. I mean, this is your day-to-day job, right? So can you point out the most common mistakes of how publishers misuse these formats?
Sure. So what I see often is a low display rate. So display rate is the ratio of ads that you actually show to user divided by the ad that you get on your phone, right? So this explains especially for that the display rate can be really low for reality video because the user opt-in chooses to see the ads, right? So it's really important that you really think of an exchange of value here. You're taking some time of the user, you give him some attention to watch the ad. So you want him to get value for it. So we make sure that the reward is valuable and it's enough for him to be basically incentivized to watch it. Really important. Also, you have to choose the reality video in your strategy. You cannot think of using reality video just because they have the best CPM. You need to think, okay, is that the best ad type for me, and can I use it effectively in my app? Really important. Third is allowing the user to watch too many ads. So here the reason is basically advertisers are interested in showing a few ads to many users. They don't want to show 50 ads to one user, right? It's not interesting for them. So the first impression that you show to a user is actually the best paid ad. And as it increases, second ad, third ad, the value decreases, right? So after the 10 ads, 20 ads in a session, you probably don't make any money from it. So it's important that you don't shoot too many ads. And also on the user side, showing too many ads decrease the value for them. Like, okay, I can just watch as many ads as I want. So it's not as valuable for them. So really important to have some kind of frequency capping and some kind of strategy again, and how many ones you want to show to each user. Also, it's not considering the other ad types in the game. You really need to think of your ad strategy overall. So what I'm saying is that, for example, if you use interstitial, totally fine to use interstitial and red video in the same app. I have a lot of issues that do it totally fine, but it's important that you think of the whole user experience, right? So as an example, if you're using, you give the option to show a video ad, reality video ad, the user watch it, and then you have an interstitial copy. So it's really bad user experience, and it overall decreases the value of the reality video ad as well. So yeah, really important to look after these common mistakes when you put in place your strategy and you choose to use this ad type. Right.
So now I guess you have some pinpoints that you can share with the best usage of the reward videos.
Yeah, so the best way to use it is make sure that watching the ads of so same idea for display. You want them to really see that they can watch ads, and that, yeah, it's obvious for them. They don't have to go through form menu to see that actually they can watch an ad. Also related for watching an ad in context. You want them to see the direct application of what they're doing. So that means, for example, doubling. Like if you get some points in the game, and right at that moment you see that you have the ability to double your points. You also go with my third point, value is capture the reward. If you see that in this case, they're like, okay, if I don't do it right now, I can double my points after. So it's really, they push to do it at that moment because in context, and they can lose the ability to double what they have, right? So value is capture the reward. Don't show it too many ads, and make sure that the value is high enough for them to be interested, but also not too small. Otherwise, they just, high enough, but also not too big. Otherwise, they can just buy everything in your store, for example. So make sure that you have this good ratio. It's kind of difficult to get, and definitely gonna have to play around with it. Limit ads per session. So like I was saying, you don't want them to watch too many ads. And also it's a good way to improve the retention rates, right? If they can see only maybe 2-3 hours in a session to gain points, and they have to wait 6 hours to be able to watch the game, there's a big chance it's going to come back for this. So it's a really great way to increase the engagement, increase the retention rate. Also, segment users and placement. That's the best way to use any kind of ad type, is to basically have different placement for different kind of users. So for example, for returning users after a while, didn't log in a long time, give them the option when they log in to watch an ad to double their points or any kind of incentive this way. So really, if you can have a strategy for each type of user, you still have hardcore user, casual user, and have different kind of placement and strategy for that. And also A/B test placement. So like we said, testing is really important. Try some different placements and see what brings you the most revenue, the best app down, the best retention rate, and the best lifetime value. So testing, because every app is different, and even if I can give you general advice, your apps and your users are particular, so you need to test on them basically.
Super insightful. Thank you so much, Gaetan. I personally find it very helpful when thinking about different games and giving them advice. So all of these points should be taken in attention. But Alex, back to you. Tell us what else do you use when you're planning the ad monetization strategy or any monetization strategy in that manner?
Yeah, right. Regarding to the product, I can highlight 3 points. It's implementation, testing, and optimization. You need to understand how the player relates to your product itself, and whether he interested to a product, whether the user uses all these features you've got so far, whether the game, if it's game, whether the game balance is good enough. So after your release or next update, you should always ensure if it's good enough, your product good enough. Maybe try to find these tiny places and moments where your players just quit the game and fix it. After that, you just go to the first point and optimize it. As well, it's worth remembering, that always there are people behind any metrics and analytics. First of all, it's worth remembering that only a great team united by a single goal can create and lead your product to success. Here in gLade, we've got such kind of team, all our devs, artists, animators, user acquisition team, the founder, the co-founder, even the financial team, all together as single mechanisms, works as single mechanisms, and it pays off, pays off. And what should I say more? Maybe about your partners, just can build.
How do you choose the partners, and why is it so important? So I understand this is not the last thing on your list, of course, and it's not the least important thing.
It's not the last. You should always cooperate with your partners as well. You should seek for a new one. And as an example, I can give our last big work that we carry out with in cooperation with Appodeal this fall. It led us to a significant increase in revenue for both presented games, Boss and Zero to Hero. For example, in July, for every 3 USD from in-app purchases, it was only about $1 from rewarded video, and in early October, this ratio was already kind of 2 to 1. At the same time, I can say that in-app purchases didn't suffer. So Yeah, it's pretty important to have a good partners and to seek for a new one. And sorry for that, but taking this opportunity, I'd like to say thank you to all your team, and especially for our manager, Tamlis, which in touch with us 24/7. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
That's good to know. I'm very happy that you guys are happy with the service. So now, as promised in our agenda, we're talking about the real life data. Hopefully, you guys, the audience, know that we constantly analyze data that we receive from all app formats and all our apps that we help to monetize, right? It's over 30,000 apps. So we have, I believe, about close to 35,000 apps right now that we help to monetize, and we gather all that data together. And we break it down by ad format and by geographical region and by partner to help publishers understand how prominent and how promising and how profitable each of the formats at any given moment. So here you can see that we analyzed first 6 months of 2018. Of course, this is the 2018 is not over yet. So this is the first performance index of 2018 that we published. And this is the data that we see on 5 different regions. And you can access more data on more ad formats and more regions and, well, not more regions, more ad formats. And exactly, partners and so on in details following the link that I'm going to share at the end of this webinar. So now, before I wrap everything up, please see the Appodeal Performance Index following by that link that you see on the screen. And of course, the web game study, as promised, is available on the link also presented on the screen. And both of the games that we discussed today, Zero to Hero and Billionaire Simulator game, are available, of course, for download, and they're free to play. And you can go ahead and check them out as well and make your mind for yourself. So that being said, I am going to try to take a look if we have any questions here. If you guys do have questions, I see that you're really active participating in responding to the polls, which thank you very much for doing that. Really appreciate your help on this. I am hoping that we have some questions, so our panelists will be more than happy to help you and answer in real time. But let's see. So we have some questions in chat, guys. It's really difficult to go through chat and look at each individual little remark. So can you please copy and paste your questions into the question section so it will be a lot easier for me to manage that, if you could. Okay, so we have a question of how can I have a chat with one of your monetization specialists? Okay, so Dave, this question is from Dave Lucas. Thank you for the question, and you can have a chat with one of our many departments. So if you're looking for a sales and you want to understand what kind of services we offer, they also can give you advice on monetization. And you are not yet a client of Appodeal, you can go ahead and contact the sales department. If you already have your salesman, you can go in depth with your sales guy or pub dev guy, and they will help you to tailor the monetization strategy for your game specifically. Of course, if you already are the client of Appodeal, you are assigned account manager, and they also give you in-depth analysis of your current monetization strategy. As Alex pointed out, they always connected with you. And if neither of those are available, we have a support that is available on Appodeal website. So if you go to Appodeal website, and there is a little small chat button, it's a live chat. So you can ask any question you have about monetization, and they do have access to all the data on our admin panel. So they will be able to pull up your application, the one that you're already using, and give you an advice. So I hope that answers your question. A question from Parshav: do you help Indian game developers? Well, we don't tailor our geographical audience of our clients of which which geographical region they come from. So if you come from India, or you come from I don't know, Zimbabwe or USA, we help everyone. The only thing that we don't do is we are very limited in human resources, right? So we can't manage 35,000 apps day to day all the time and give you tailored strategies. So we do get picky, which I think is understandable, and we still try to help as many as possible. So if you have a game that is actually showing good results, then I don't see why would it matter if you're from India or anywhere else in the world. It's just like, you know, you have internet connection, you're making a good quality product that is interesting for the audience around the world, then, you know, power to you. There's no need to specify your location. So hopefully that also answers the question. So now let's see. Well, we have some chatting here, and we don't really have a question. So I don't see any more questions. So if everybody is done, oh, we have another one just popped in. How is the platform different from Unity ads or InMobi ads? Well, very. Unity ads and InMobi ads is, first of all, is a network, and we are ad mediation, so we don't. You know what? I've been talking for way too long. Why don't you just switch it up? Kaitan, do you mind answering this question while I give myself a little?
Sure. So yeah, the main thing is that Unity and InMobi are networks, and they actually talk about events. What we do is mediation. That means that we have pretty much all the most important events: Facebook, Hanlog, Unity, Uploading. So pretty much all their networks will serve DSPs that are able to bid to get your impressions in your ad. And what we do is that we select, we select the best paid ad basically, and we show that what's in your ad. That's pretty much what we do, is to make sure that you get paid the most. So we definitely, it can be Unity ads shown in your app if you decide to activate that network when you work with us. Can depend, but basically you have access to all the demand by connecting to Appodeal. That's what it's great, because we have great fill rate, and you're going to have also the best CPM available. Just like that.
Yep.
Yeah. In addition, we can say, sorry, Nat, for interrupting.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that with Zero to Hero, we started with Unity and Bangal, I guess, and after a month, we switched on Appodeal. So it was it, I think.
Yeah, and of course, we don't eliminate any of those previous partners that you worked with before. So if you have direct accounts with either Unity or Bangal or anyone else, you are welcome to connect your direct accounts and see how Appodeal manages them as well, and boost the performance. So hopefully that helps and answers the question. And I don't have any more open questions here in the Q&A section. So if no one else has any questions, I am going to wrap this up. And thank you so much, the panelists. This webinar ran for only 35 minutes, which was super great. And I assume it's because we didn't have many questions, which is kind of unusual, I would say. Normally we have around 10-15 questions, which and we run for a lot longer. So if no one else has any more questions, we're going to wrap this up. Guys, thank you so much. Kaitan, really insightful information. Thank you for sharing your experience. And we will be seeing you in upcoming webinars. And Alex, again, I know you're super busy, and I know that it's really late there in Cyprus right now. It's actually, what is it, 8:35 right now in the evening?
Yeah, right. It's 5.
Yeah. Yeah, so we barely just had morning coffee, and Alex is almost ready to go to bed.
I got my evening coffee, so.
I really appreciate you taking
My
time
pleasure.
and joining the webinar.
Thank
And
you.
sharing the experience, of course. So again, guys, thank you very much. I will be sending this webinar recording to everyone who joined today and who couldn't, who registered but couldn't join. And there will be a link available for download online, and go ahead and take advantage of this information that we provided to you. We will share the slides, we will share the video recording, and hopefully this was very, very useful for you. So thank you, and have a great evening, day, morning, or depending on anywhere you are, maybe flying, I don't know, flying to somewhere, Cosmos. Anyway, thank you, and we will see you in our upcoming webinars. Thanks, Gaetan. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. Bye.